Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you guys are able to hear me, can you please drop in a thumbs up or something in the chat? Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday night so far. All right. Hey, Chucky is in the house. I pay money to watch this live stream from CDub and the Card Professor. Thanks, Professor, for coming back on for what I'm sure will be another great show. Sounds good to me. Nice. Okay, so you guys can hear me loud and clear. Right now, I'm just waiting on the Card Professor. Hey, what's going on, Eric? Can hear me loud and clear? All right. So we're just waiting a few minutes. How are you guys doing so far? How's your night going? How's your night going tonight, Tuesday night? Pop says it's going awesome. Eric says just got home from work. Okay, must have been a long day at work. All right, just got word here from the Card Professor. He's going to be joining us. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over here. And we'll get started. Elliot, what's going on? Always making a brother wait. I know. That's the Card Professor for you. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, he'll be jumping on here soon. We got a couple different things we want to talk about tonight. We want to do a little bit of recap on some of the NBA playoffs. We want to talk about the Card Professor he was able to get a Grail card. He mentioned this last time, so he's going to talk about that Grail card that he got. And hopefully, I think he'll have a chance to display that. And so those are just a couple of the items that we want to talk about for tonight. And then also, while we're waiting, just a heads up, I got 2 other interviews planned this week. One is going to be with the basketball card guy. I don't know if you guys know about him. He's on Instagram, longtime collector, has a lot of knowledge, has a lot of experience. And then also, I'm going to be doing another interview with Shark Bait Custom. You're probably wondering who that is, but that's someone who is on Instagram, and they make custom cards. So we're going to be able to get to know him, talk to him, ask some questions, talk about the custom art industry, custom card industry, and see how that goes. And I'm looking forward to it. The guy makes a lot of really cool designs, cool custom cards. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Looking forward to also talking to the basketball card guy as well. He collects a lot of different basketball cards, rare cards, different types of cards. So looking forward to that. All right, what else we got? What's up, Chuck? Elliot says, "What's up, Chuck? How you doing, my guy?" I just ordered a Grail card myself. Oh, Eric, so you ordered a Grail card. So let me know what Grail card you got. You can throw that in the chat. And it looks like we have the Card Professor. So let me go ahead and bring him in here.
Hey, sorry about that.
It's all right. How's it going?
It's one of those. I show up fashionably late because I'm in LA, but I'm not in LA. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm here now though.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for joining, man.
Yay.
So I gave a little intro of a couple of things that we want to talk about tonight. Talked about how we want to go ahead and discuss a little bit of a recap on the NBA playoffs. I did mention also this Grail card. I don't know if you have that with you, Okay, so we can go ahead and talk about that, and then we have a couple people in the chat. Looks like Eric Perkins says he actually got a 1981 Joe Montana rookie. So that's a Grail card for him. That's awesome. We got Pops in the house. We got my mom in the house. We got Elliot. We got Eric Perkins. And then also just a small little shout out. It was Pop's birthday on this past Sunday. So if you guys want to drop a little happy belated birthday to Pops in the chat, go for it.
Happy birthday, Pops.
So all right, sounds good. So let's go ahead and start with just a little bit of a recap on some of the NBA playoffs. Man, so I know that tonight we had a game, the Miami versus 76ers. It looks like the Heat barely won. I don't know if you saw that one. No, they actually beat them by a ton. It was 120 to 85. So that series is now 3-2. So we can talk about that series, or we can switch over to Golden State. I know you're a Golden State fan, right?
Whichever one you want to talk about.
All right. Let's start with Golden State. So they're up 3-1. I know in their last game, or 2 games ago, John Morant had a knee injury. How did you think that last game was going to go, and what do you think about the ending of the game?
You talking about game 3 or game 4?
I'm sorry, game 4 that they just won. So they're up 3-1, right?
Yeah. So one important thing to note is how well Memphis plays without Ja Morant. So there was a period of time during the regular season that Morant was injured and went on a tear. So we got a little bit of insight on why that's the case. So it's really tough defense and get out in transition. So we saw that yesterday off of a miss defensive rebound, get out in transition, and easy bucket. I'm talking about Memphis. So as my thought was, if the Warriors would hang around and be within striking distance, so I don't know, like 6-point game with 5 minutes left, then it would it would not bode well for Memphis. And I mean, all the chips would just start to fall in the Warriors' favor. So that's kind of how I thought of the game yesterday. I mean, it was ugly, and you just keep missing open shots, and you would think like, oh, it's a good defensive battle, but it's just a lot of open shots missed. I mean, 0 for 15 from 3-point land, and then 2 for 15 for Memphis in like the first half or something like that. Or there was a point in time in the first half where both teams had shot 15, made 15 attempts from 3-point range, and only 2 were made from both teams, and both were from Memphis. So it's just kind of ugly, but it's playoff basketball, and I think about like the card market. I'm like, okay, well, if Ja's not gonna play well, then who's gonna step up?
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you hold on 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta do something really quick. So give me a second. I'm gonna turn my camera off.
All right. Me too.
You can leave yours on.
I don't know. Do I keep talking? I might as well. So with regards to the card market, I think, okay, who's going to step up? Who is the 2 option? Who is the 3 option? And are they going to really step up? So I would say over in the first round where Memphis played Minnesota, it was Desmond Bane who really stepped up. And in this series, Desmond Bane hasn't done much. Okay, cool. But in the current series, the second round, the Western Conference semifinals, it's been Jaren Jackson Jr. who's you felt his presence more, definitely defensively. If I'm correct, he led the league in blocks this year.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me look that up real quick. So, and he's 2018 draft class. So he led the league in blocks per game. So if he's 2018, so he might be in a contract year. So that might be it. Yeah, playing extra hard for that contract. Yeah. You fixed your lighting, I see. Here, maybe I can fix mine. All right. So Jaren Jackson Jr. has played well in this series, but he didn't play as well as maybe I was hoping. No one broke out from Memphis in last game, so that just tells me like, oh, okay, are any of the Memphis players investable or buyable? Those are like my thoughts. So those are my thoughts on the game, and those are my thoughts on the card market related to the game.
Nice. All right. So I went ahead and shared my screen. So let's see. So Jaren Jackson looks like he's second blocks per game. Let's see. Let's see. Is this the right stat here?
Well, he's at the top is the point. Yeah. That's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah. But I just want to make sure that, when we say something, we're accurate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, anyways. All right. All right. So where do we want to go from here? What do you how about this? Milwaukee and Boston.
So I would say the Milwaukee and Boston series is the other very exciting series in the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like, at least going into it, like who's, you're not quite sure like what's going to happen. And I would say like the Phoenix series, they're going to walk away with it because Luka Doncic doesn't have any help. Like that's the sentiment. That was the sentiment going in. And the similar sentiment with the Atlanta-Philadelphia series when Embiid was injured. So now that so that left the two other series, the Warriors-Grizzlies and the Bucks-Celtics. Those are much more evenly matched. The Grizzlies had beat the Warriors 3 out of 4 times during the regular season. So those are juicy matchups. If I were to make a prediction, but I'm not betting on it, I just want to put that out there. Whoever wins the Milwaukee Boston series is going to go to the finals out of the East. That neither team, Miami nor Philadelphia, could beat either of those two guys. So, am I rooting for anyone? No, not necessarily. I think it's good for the card market either way. Giannis going to the finals again, having another opportunity, doing back-to-back. That's good for the card market. Jason Tatum, he really tore it up in the second half of the season and, swept Kevin Durant. Is that, then the narrative is that a changing of the guard, right? So that's also good for the card market. So I'm happy either way with those, with that series.
Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to say about the Milwaukee and Boston, like the last game, Giannis had a monster game. I mean, he had such a monster game, and it was kind of weird to see them lose when he had such a good game. I mean, I think he had, I just looked it up, 34 points. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like they just could not stop him. But I think the problem is that just other guys weren't producing enough, on the team. But I think Boston is great, and they're exciting. And I think I'm pretty excited about that series as well.
Yeah, Milwaukee's missing Middleton, so
yeah,
they're number 2 option.
Right. So what do you think about one thing? Okay, I know we're kind of bouncing back, but what do you think about Klay Thompson? How's he playing? Like, do you think he's recovered well? I know he had that crazy injury; he was out for a long time. What do you think he's playing as good as he was before, or do you think he's, a little bit behind?
I mean, those are two like year-long injuries, right? Season-ending injuries that he had.
Yeah.
And I guess generally speaking, you would be concerned, like, that's what happened with Derrick Rose. That's what happened with Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, and they weren't quite the same. Those players, those three players that I just mentioned, weren't quite the same after. But they're Klay Thompson's game is not like that at all. Like Klay Thompson's like catch and shoot, right? He's gonna run around and thinking Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, right, running off the screen. So it's less about athleticism for him, even though you still need to be like athletic enough to like cut and run around screens. So I feel like his game is not as affected as Derrick Rose or Grant Hill or Penny Hardaway, but it's still affected. So out here, Klay Thompson, big. I mean, he's not as big as Curry, but there's still a big sized following of Klay Thompson fans.
Right.
So there's always people at the card show looking for Klay Thompson. And I have them in my bargain bins, and people are like, "Oh, Klay Thompson, let me scoop up a bunch of these."
Nice. So, all right. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Phoenix and Mavs. Like it's tied up, 2-2, and I was surprised. I thought Phoenix was going to kind of dominate a little bit more in the series, but I mean, it's still only 2-2. Luka's been playing well. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on that series at all? And
Yeah. So,
oh, go ahead.
I think Phoenix is just too deep, and they play really good defense. Their 3 and 4 options are, really good. Michael Bridges, he's probably playing for a contract, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but he's playing very well. So they're deep and they're long, and so they're good defensively. And they got great leadership from Chris Paul, right? Okay, good. So then Luka Doncic, like if we were, he's playing lights out too, but if we were to like rank the 5 best players in the series, I feel like Phoenix has 4 of the 5 best players. Or, if we're going to rank the 4 best players, Phoenix has 3 of the 4 best players. Whereas with the Dallas-Utah series, it was kind of like Dallas had 3 of, if you ranked the 4 best players, it would be kind of 50-50. So Phoenix is stacked in that sense. And Phoenix in 6. That at this point, that's like my prediction. And I'm looking at the score right now. They're up by 11 in the third quarter. I didn't expect the Mavericks to win 2 at home. When it comes to the card market, that's really good because people are going to be excited about Luka, and he's just one All-Star away from multiple championships. That's what I hear about him a lot. So I'm rooting for Luka for card market purposes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like no one on the Suns, there's just not too much excitement around their cards. Like people aren't excited to collect Booker. They're not so excited to collect CP3.
Well, there might be in Phoenix, right? Locally.
I'm just talking about like across the country.
Oh, okay.
Like there's no buzz, or the buzz on Luka is much larger in the hobby, is much larger than the buzz on Booker.
Why do you think that is?
Luka's younger, he's European, and puts up great stat lines, and also hits game-winning shots. So the thing is, Booker does that too. CP3 does that too, but they're older, and they don't put up as great stat lines.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that I hear about Luka though is like people, not necessarily negative, but I want to make sure we talk about all different aspects, is maybe his defense, how that's just one of the weaker parts of his game. Do you think that'll hurt him in the long run?
I don't. Possibly. So if he doesn't win the 7, the 4, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7, 8 rings
Yeah.
that all these expectations are upon him, then if he doesn't win that because he's not playing good on defense, then that definitely hurts him in the card market in the long run. But I think
Yeah.
about like Jordan Poole. So people are like, oh, Poole's a liability on defense, but um, I would say that he's definitely stepped up his defensive intensity this year,
Mm.
and he when he gets all caught up on switches or he comes over and helps and he does rotations really well and he gets in the passing lanes. So these are all things that like Curry he jumps in passing lanes, but the narrative is if he's he's not like a Marcus Smart. Good. Marcus Smart's Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
But if you want to win rings, you need defense as well.
Yeah. All right. So we got a couple questions here. I'm just going to throw these on the screen. What do you think about this one about Kuminga's rookie card? Is that would that be a good thing to buy? What do you think? He
So
started last
locally, Jonathan Kuminga has a lot of hype.
game.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I suppose one day we could we could compare card values of the 2021 rookie class. We can even just look at Contenders autos. Contenders is a new set that just came out. We can just look at those and compare, and then you find Kuminga's near the top. Like, so he has a lot of hype, and he's also on a championship like caliber team.
Right.
So he's athletic as heck, and well, I mean, if you watch Game 3 where he started, he made some rookie mistakes, driving into the hole and not kicking it back out when the defense collapsed. But because of all that hype, his cards are really expensive, and I don't like to buy hype. Now, if you want to buy hype, you go ahead and do that. I'm not going to say, hey, do this and do that. But because it's very exciting right now, I won't be buying him.
Got it. All
now,
right.
if we were to talk midterm, I think about like, okay, when I mean midterm, I mean like 2-3 years. I think, okay, the core of the Golden State Warriors are Steph, Klay, and Dre, and they're getting up in age. Yeah.
Right.
So the Warriors are definitely looking to transition into the future. But, does that mean that Steph, Klay, and Dre only play 25 minutes a game? So that means that Kuminga and Poole, does that mean they only play 25 or are they getting 30 to 35 minutes a game? That type of thing. At least with the Warriors system, sharing the ball is a much bigger part of the game. Luka Doncic is so ball dominant. He's got to have the ball in his hands like so often. Yeah. That's how he gets all his stats. So I feel like in a Warrior system where the ball moves around, it could be a decent play, but if I were gonna look at buying someone's rookie card now, I would have to be more confident that they have the potential to be the number one guy. And so when you had to step off for a second, I was talking about Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane, but then what I didn't say about that was I don't think they have the chance to be a number one guy in their current situation. So I don't feel like Kuminga has a chance to be a number one guy yet. That might change next year, might change in 2 years, but the prospects don't even look like that.
Yeah. All right. So really quick, couple comments and questions. Pop says Luka is definitely unstoppable. Put a few more players around him. I'm seeing a championship. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And Luka's pretty good, pretty good at getting assists too. So I think we got to give him credit for that. Eric says, Oh, let me go back here. Sorry. Eric says, so Luka could in theory get better. That's a question. I don't know. I think he can, but I mean, he's already, I think, pretty good.
I think statistically, he might be like, he might be near a peak in terms of stats, but in terms of his game,
Yeah.
I mean, you see him now. He's just starting to post people up, and then he'll go like this, too small. He'll just put his hand down here and be like too small, right? So he has a lot more to grow from his game.
All right. So Eric says, I don't know what's up with my chat. That last one was messed up. Don't even worry about it, Eric. Don't even worry about it. My brother. All right. So why don't we go ahead and transition to one of the other topics that we want to talk about, which was the Grail card. If you want to just go ahead and share how you got this, what you were thinking about this, and we can go ahead and talk about that.
Okay. So Holy Grail card is kind of like a card that's like, I've been wanting this card, or this is a card that takes a while to get. And so, I'll be honest, I only made the decision earlier this year to chase this card. But then when I did my research on this card, I realized that this card doesn't come up frequently. So I was like, okay, I need to make sure that when it comes up, that I'm ready for it. So I will say that I was there was another Grail card that was available in October of 2021, but I wasn't ready for it. So
We talked about that before about being ready, right?
Yeah. So this time I needed to make sure. I mean, one of my card goals for the year was to make sure I'm ready financially, like I have money ready to shell out for a Grail card. And so I had like saved up and also had bought and sold cards for this Grail card. So that's kind of like the starting process of like me being ready for it. Now, how did I identify this player? This is a player that I grew up watching, so it's a nostalgic childhood. Like, oh yeah, that's my guy. Oh yeah, I remember watching him as a kid, so on and so forth. He's also a GOAT, one of the greatest of all time, and he's also a local guy to me. I mean, I'm San Francisco Bay Area, so he's also won championships, and he also has multiple records that's probably not going to be beat, even though the rules in football are more offensive friendly now than they were when he was playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this I found, so that's kind of like, so number one is nostalgic childhood, number two is the GOATness of this player, and then number three was rookie card, but also in a high grade, a gem mint grade.
Right.
So when I think gem mint grade, I think PSA 10, and then I think BGS 9.5, and I think SGC 10. Or if you want to go with the old labels, SGC 98. Yeah, I'm a big fan of SGC 98 or even SGC 100.
Yeah.
So CDubs, put it in the chat. Any guesses of who the player is? So then so it's a rookie card. I said I want a gem mint condition. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here's another thing. When I looked at the PSA 10 values of this card, I was just like, oh, okay, that's somewhere between. That's like really, really expensive. When I looked at the BGS 9.5 values, it was so much lower. Generally speaking, for ultra modern cards, 2017 and later, BGS 9.5s are about 50% of a PSA 10. And in this case, it was like 1/10 or 10% of a PSA 10. Okay. So here it is. I brought it with me today. It is. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
There we go. A Jerry Rice. So we guessed right on this. So let's get that in here. Move this over. A Jerry Rice rookie card. Can you even see that? And a BGS 9.5. And then
Yeah,
there's the
I see
4
the 9.
subgrades. And can you even see the subgrades? I'm trying to get the lighting right. Well, anyways,
It's kind of hard to see.
yeah. So the subgrades of centering, edges, and surface are 9.5. And it's the corners that are 9. So shout out to people who guessed the GOAT whose records aren't going to be broken despite all the offensive friendly rules. Thanks, Pops. So this really hits home for me.
Awesome.
And I'm very happy with it. Yeah. I like looking at it. Like when my wife and my son are sleeping, I'll
Yeah.
just go over there and look at the card.
Nice.
Just enjoy the card. And I'll just put it back away. And I'll probably do that a few times a week.
That's funny. That's cool. All right, man. So I know another thing that we wanted to talk about. We want to start doing this.
Wait. Hold on.
What happened?
Okay, so earlier this year, you made a decision that you wanted to get a Kobe auto.
Yes.
You went out and did it, right? And you even documented it. Shout out CDubs for doing all that.
Yes, sir.
Is there another Grail card that you are looking to chase, or have you not thought about that yet?
I haven't, to be honest, I haven't thought about a Grail card. The only other goals that I have, there's a couple things. I mean, I have multiple goals. I want to get, the next thing that I want to get is a Kareem auto, and probably like a Jerry West auto. Build up my Laker collection. Shout out to the Lakers. And then I want to actually build I know how you showed that Klay Thompson set you had. Was it Prism Silvers every year?
I just finished it, by the way.
Nice. You just finished it? Oh, that's awesome. So I like that idea for Kobe. But just recently, I'm glad you brought that up, just recently I got the first year Kobe Select. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe I can start there with Select and build that up. So I just got that on Twitter. I just bought that recently. So
was that a base or a silver?
It was just a base.
Good. Chase the base set.
Yeah. So so those are just some of the thoughts that I have, but no other Grail card at this time that I have planned. But man, I am looking forward to going to there's a card show coming up, the next premiere show. So me and my pops are going to go to that in a couple weeks. And then I have a plan. I'm trying to build a plan for how to get some of these cards that I just talked about. So yeah, I'm working on that right now.
I bet they're going to be in the bargain bins.
Which ones?
The Kobe Selects. I bet you should be able to find some in the bargain bins.
Yeah.
And then in like a 2013, you might see it in a case. But that chase is really fun.
Yeah. So, and I'm a big fan. I do like Select, so I might start there, like I said, with the Kobe Select.
Do
cards.
it.
So
do it. You already got the hardest one.
That's true. Yeah. So I can just keep on going from there. So all right. So do you want to go ahead and move on to our next item that we want to talk about?
Okay.
All right. So we talked about this. We want to start because last I was gonna talk about it, and you cut me off, interrupted me, but it was a good interruption. So me and the Card Professor. So his name is the Card Professor. So because he's a professor, he's got to teach us some type of lesson, right? So we wanted to go ahead and bring this little item in to the episode today. We want to talk about a lesson. There's always many types of lessons that we can learn, right, in the hobby. But let's go ahead. I'll turn it over to you. And if you want to go ahead and start with that.
Okay. So, because last time you're like, oh, what lessons would you give to youngsters, or sorry, not youngsters, people new in the hobby?
Right.
So here's another lesson for people new in the hobby. And um, so to me, uh, I see you, Eric. Learn us something. One of the lessons that I learned early on is that I wanted to buy and sell cards in a short period of time, meaning like I wanted to buy a card, not to like, so there were some cards that I wanted to buy and like sit on and hold like this, but then there were other cards that I wanted to buy and sell within a few months or a year. Okay. So some people call that flipping.
Right.
So my intention in the hobby was to flip, or at least when I first got back in, even still now, is to flip. So that's kind of the premise of this lesson.
Mm.
I'm still in the hobby to collect, as you know. I'm chasing a couple sets and whatnot.
Right.
But my other participation in the hobby is to buy and sell, flip. Okay. So with that said, I learned about different types of sets. When I mean set, I mean like
Okay.
brand. Right now in stores, you can get Donruss. Right now in stores, you can get Contenders.
Right.
And recently was there like recently there was Illusions. Okay.
Right.
When I was a kid, there was Donruss, there was Tops, there was Bowman, there was Score, there was Upper Deck, and Upper Deck was always the most expensive. Yeah. Okay. So the different types of sets, there's actually different. Some are more popular than others. Some are more expensive than others. And just because something is more expensive doesn't mean that they're desirable. So that's an important kind of lesson that I had to learn. Um, there, so I'm just trying to think like, what are the ones that you've seen at like Target and Barnes and Nobles and Walgreens and whatnot? Can you just share some of those, CDub?
Yeah. So I know lately, Bowman is a new one for baseball that has
Mhm.
actually hit Barnes and
Oh,
Noble.
just go with football, basketball,
Oh, okay. So just in the last like few months or what?
all of the above. Even ones
Yes.
on your channel.
Okay, yeah. So we'll start with basketball. So Don Russ is out, regular Don Russ basketball. Um, Before that, you had let me think, like you said, Illusions. We also had Chronicles that came out. Um, and then obviously we have the big ones, Prism and Optic, I think, and by the way, I think Prism, the new release is going to be hitting, I think, any day now
About time.
for basketball. Yeah. And then also I know that we got Prism and Optic that still haven't come out yet for football, which a lot of people are kind of like waiting for, right? Those are some of the big sets. So, basketball, you got NBA hoops that already came out. Trying to think, what are the other ones? We already talked about Select. We got Mosaic.
Okay,
Mosaic was
good.
out.
So
So
we got a nice wide range of things that you can buy in retail stores.
yeah, definitely.
So let me just put all those in one category of retail store availability. So of the retail store availability, the ones that are most popular are Prism, Optic, and Select. If you can get your hands on Contenders, they're nice, but pretty much the most desirable card and usually the only desirable card is the autos in
Right.
Contenders. But with Prism Optic Select, you can get the silvers, you can get the hollows, you can get the autos, and there's even like really cool parallels and inserts. Like I'm chasing the raining threes out of Optic. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, good.
Nice.
So Prism Optic Select are generally the most desirable for reselling. Not only as just like packs, unopened packs or boxes, but also the cards.
Hmm.
So a Zion Williamson Prism base is so much more desirable than a Zion Williamson Chronicles, period.
Right.
Um, and I was buying, like when I first got back in the hobby, I was buying certified, I'm buying limited.
Hmm.
Um, and I just wasn't, I didn't know how many different types of sets there were.
Yeah.
And I also didn't know which ones were very desirable or popular for resale. So, I mean, that's the big lesson. If your desire is to resell, know that some sets are so much more desirable and as a result easier to resell than others.
Right.
When it comes to retail stuff, Prism Optic Select, and then sometimes Contenders. Now, if we were to do other ones that you can only buy in hobby, whether it's through your local card store or buying from Panini or buying from breakers, the top tier is like National Treasures or NT.
Right.
There's also Flawless and
Right.
Immaculate. Those are all kind of top tier. There's another really expensive box that's called Impeccable
Yeah.
and also Noir.
Mm.
So Noir is known for really good designs.
Right.
I don't know. You seen the sneaker shoes? They got the sneaker cards. Oh, those are dope. Those are
Yeah, I've seen
dope.
those.
Yeah, I didn't bring my clay. I got a dope clay. So, I mean, Noir has some really nice stuff, but generally speaking, their base cards aren't as desirable.
Mm.
Um, their autos are really nice too, but they're kind of a Noir and Impeccable. Even though they're really expensive and pricey, they're still a step down from Flawless, National Treasures. Now, they're not as pricey as Flawless and National Treasures. When I mean pricey, I mean as a box. They're not as
Right.
pricey, but they're like the difference in price is smaller than the difference in desirability when it comes to a standard base card.
Mm.
So I had to learn that one the hard way. And it was a good lesson to learn. I'm just paying that hobby tuition.
Nice. So speaking of flawless, right? I don't know if you saw, but that triple logo man LeBron card was pulled recently. You know, the one that Drake bought. He bought a bunch of flawless cases. He was trying to get it, but it was pulled. Did you see that that was pulled online?
Yeah, I did see it and congratulate. There was like a bounty that the breaker was going to win money, and then whoever the card was pulled for was going to win a Lamborghini or the other way around, something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, congratulations to them. Enjoy that triple logo, one of one. And will you put a Pop's question into the
Yeah.
chat into the screen, please? So, I mean, the question is, Professor, what do you think about spending 15K for a case of flawless to try to get a logo card? I think if that's your thing, do it. Enjoy it. Um, yeah, do it. It's not my thing. I don't have to, you know. I mean, for 15,000, I'd rather get a Ricky Henderson rookie, or you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And you know that's where I'm guaranteed my Ricky Henderson rookie. Whereas you open a $15,000 case, you might not pull it. And I remember when Flawless first came out, and breakers are opening stuff on Instagram. I would watch it, or Drake is there with Ken Golden, and they're ripping stuff. Or, like, I watch it, and then you see Flawless, like, nothing big, no monster cards are coming out. Like, no LeBron triple logo mans are coming out. Like, oh, still alive. So now it's not live. What's there to chase?
Right.
What is there to
Exactly.
chase?
So I think the value of those cases are gonna drop somewhat, right? I mean, they have to. It seems like they will.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, I think because the main chase card is gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you can find like a rookie patch auto of the biggest rookie that year, then and if a rookie that year turns out to become the next Curry or even Giannis, then then the case spikes back up in price.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So I wanted to kind of bounce something off you. And let me know what you think. This is just like some just normal card talk. Um, so I have this. I don't know if you saw that I pulled this Donovan Mitchell autograph fast break. I pulled it from a Prism pack, and it was his rookie. I only spent like $40 on the pack, and I pulled that. I'm thinking about trying to figure out how I can turn that card into something that's going to benefit me or help me to get a better card where I could either possibly make a profit and or try to get like a special Kobe card that I would like. But the question is, should I take a chance at trying to get that card graded first before I make any moves with it? What do you think?
So I would say you got to look at the card, look at the centering, the edges, corners, and the surface, including the back surface. So if it has a chance at a gem, you send it in.
Right.
And if it has a strong chance if it has a strong chance at a gem, you send it in. There's cards where I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's got a chance. There might be one ding on there, like, is it worth it? Is it worth the chance at a 10? Am I losing too much money if it gets a 9, that type of thing?
Right.
And there's sometimes when I miss something, it comes back at 6, something like that. So that's always the risk. So that's the first question is like, I don't know. So I suppose you've looked at the card.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think the condition is?
I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. The centering looks good. I'm not seeing any like facing, issues on the face. To be honest, I haven't really examined the back of it and all the corners. I think the corners look good, but so for the most part, it looks like it's in pretty good condition. So I'm definitely considering grading that one.
Yeah, buying or having raw to grade is back now that you can sub your own cards at $50. So you don't have to go through a group subber anymore. You can sub it yourself. That was just announced today.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I did not know that. Thanks for sharing that. So it was just announced today.
Yeah, or you can go through the homie Slab 10's trading cards. Shout out Kobe. Yeah.
Right.
So if you feel it has a chance at a dime, then or a gem, then I think it's worth sending in because then that the grade of a 10 really ups the value. But you have to just what do you think is the possibility of it getting a 10? And what I recommend is if you're not sure, bring it to a show and bring it to people. Like, hey, what do you think? And if you do that, people are going to want to like take it out of the sleeve and whatnot. So I recommend you bring a couple extra sleeves so that when they take it out, you put it back into a fresh one. You don't want to scratch any surface from putting into an old sleeve.
Yeah, I'm more along. I definitely wouldn't let someone just start looking at the card. I'm not really cool with that. But I mean, especially take it out of the sleeve. So
well, how are you supposed to get your second opinion?
I don't know. I'm just
There's
telling
no
you.
other way. There's really no other way. Unless I saw you.
I'm just not comfortable with that,
Well, unless I saw you in person, you let me look at it. Or you can show it to Kobe. Like, hey, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I'll bring it to the next show. That I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he throws that show.
What's that?
He throws the premiere show.
Yeah. I know him and Jay, right? So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that show. But yeah, so with that, I mean, I'll probably submit it to get graded, and then I was kind of thinking about maybe trying to turn that into some cards that can possibly gain value. And I was kind of like thinking of some of the football guys, like maybe trying to get some Herberts or some Joe Burrow cards, because I know that football season is going to be coming up soon, and then NBA is going to be, obviously going to the off season. So that's what I was thinking. But we'll see.
I like how you think.
Thank you. I like when people say that to me. That's a really good compliment. Let's see. A couple things here. 2 recent comps are 650 and 689. Is that for the Donovan Mitchell PSA 10? Okay, so it's not too bad.
You said fast break prism?
Yeah.
Man, let me look that up right fast.
All right, go ahead.
2017 Prism Fast Break Donovan PSA 10.
And it's an auto.
Oh, it's an auto.
Yeah.
You have the card with you or no?
Yeah, let me grab it. Give me a second.
Yep, he's right. He is. Eric is definitely right.
Probably can't see that well, but
let me see the back of it. Does it say PRIZM anywhere?
At the top front.
No, I'm talking about on the back.
Oh, yeah, really low by the Panini logo.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. So I mean, if that comes back as a gem, you got yourself a nice card, and then you can trade into something else.
Yeah, so definitely want to do that, and looking forward to that. So,
I mean, there's already rumors of him getting traded.
I know. I heard about that. Possibly to the Heat, I think was one of the options. I can't remember the other team.
That's where the interest is.
Okay.
Heat and Hawks.
Heat and Atlanta, yeah. So yeah, Heat and Hawks. So that'll be interesting. All right. So I think at this point, and I just want to say thanks again for joining. Thanks for going over the lesson, showing us the Grail, and just the chat about the playoffs. And just want to say thanks to everybody in the chat who joined us tonight. Really appreciate you guys. And we gotta, like I said, let's always plan another one. So I don't know if you're down for next week, but we'll talk more. We'll get it locked down. So no worries. All right, man. Thanks again for joining. Just want to say take care to everybody who joined us, and you take care, man. And CDub
out.
Peace.